welcome back to Boots and Bounty Homestead. I'm Casey and you're in Casey's kitchen. So it is Saturday and that means it is Subscriber Saturday. So who do we have featuring today? It would be my trusted viewer, Miss Judy Finnegan. And she has sent several recipes, but today I'm going to do one of my favorites. So we are going to be doing pumpkin cake. Now, she also puts a little note on here. It says, this is a favorite from her mom's cookbook. So, extra special that she's given me something to do from her mom's cookbook. And what we are going to need, and I'll try to remember to type it all out in the bottom. 3 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, 2 teaspoons baking soda, 2 teaspoons baking powder with a dash of salt, 2 teaspoons cinnamon, 2 cups of canned pumpkin, 1.5 cups of oil, 4 eggs, and we're going to put together the dry ingredients, add the eggs, and then the pumpkin and oil. So let's go ahead. It says to bake at 350, so we're going to go ahead and preheat that now, and then we'll start putting stuff together. Now, one thing I did notice, it says 3 cups of flour, but it doesn't say what kind. Now, if you guys been with me very long, I've explained this before. If you see baking soda and baking powder in the recipe, then your flour is going to be all-purpose. If it is supposed to rise, if it does rise and it doesn't have baking soda, baking powder, and salt listed, then it's going to be self-rising. Otherwise, if it's supposed to be something flat or you're using it as a thickener, if it says flour, it'll be all-purpose. So you need baking soda, baking powder if something's supposed to rise. Alright, so let's go get the ingredients. So since my flour and sugar are in big containers, I went ahead and measured them out in here. Then we still got to put in the baking soda, baking powder. So we can do that real quick. Need 2 teaspoons. And I've got a half a teaspoon here. That's just what I grabbed first. So I just need to do 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 4 of the baking powder. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And I do grind my own cinnamon from cinnamon sticks. If you guys know, this is ground cinnamon from cinnamon sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4. So all you do, if you ever run out of cinnamon, if you have some cinnamon sticks, and that's why I keep cinnamon sticks on hand, you can put these in a coffee grinder and grind them up, and then you'll have cinnamon. Okay, so I've got to sift this together, and what that does is it makes it light and fluffy, gets rid of any clumps, and it's actually a more accurate measurement of your dry ingredients. So let's sift that together real quick. I've got a clear bowl out, and I'm going to show you guys 2 different ways to sift your dry ingredients. Now, most of you probably think of a sifter as something like this that has the wire mesh in the bottom that you can either hand crank, or sometimes they'll have them on the handle where you can squeeze and it goes back and forth, just kind of sweeping it through the bottom. You can use this, and let me show you how this one works. I got my old school one out. So of your bowl, you're just going to put your items in, and then you can either turn it or you can go back and forth, and it comes out the bottom. And mostly that's left is my cinnamon because it's not fine powder like you would buy at the store. Let me show you what that looks like. See if you can see it. That's some of my cinnamon that's left. So I'm just going to dump a few of those out at a time. Now, if you don't happen to have one of those, you can also use any size of a fine mesh strainer or colander or something. Same concept. You want to take it, put it in the colander or strainer, and just tap it to the side. So you don't have to go out and buy any expensive equipment or anything like that. And again, about all that's left is going to be the big chunks of cinnamon. That's about all that's left. It's not going to see it. So, I'll just dump that out. Whichever's faster, whichever way you can do or want to do is fine. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this real quick with my old one, because I bought this and I've never been able to use it. Because I don't make a whole lot of cakes. And it's a lot faster than the colander. I always thought as a kid that it felt so good to let my grandmother sift something over my hand. I'd put my little dirty hands in there. When I was a kid, my grandmother would sift her flour and stuff. I never knew why. My mom used to always sift everything, and I don't think I've seen her sift anything my entire adulthood. Yeah, I've only got 4 little specks of cinnamon left. I don't know if you guys can see them in there. 4 little specks. Not bad. Alright. I'm going to clean up real quick and get the wet ingredients out, and I'll be right back. Alright. This is called a dough hook. For you guys that might have never seen one, or maybe you hadn't seen one in a long time. It's a Danish dough hook, and it helps you mix breads and stuff. So, I'm going to use it today. Not often I get to use it either. So what we're going to do is we're going to make just a little well right here in the middle to start putting our wet ingredients. And what a well in the center of a bowl does, so you can just kind of see a little hole in the center there. It lets all of your wet ingredients sit there until you get ready to mix, and then you stir the wet ingredients and slowly let the dry ingredients incorporate into your mixture. That way you don't come up with lumps and have to stir it a whole lot. It just incorporates everything at a slower pace. So to this, I'm going to go ahead and add my oil. I probably should be using canola oil or vegetable oil. That's something that doesn't have a very strong taste. But this is all I got. We're going to do 1.5 cups of oil. There's 1. And a half. Okay, I'm going to set that right there a second. We need 4 eggs. And that I have plenty of. We got colorful eggs going in here, Miss Judy. 1, 2, 3. Don't want no grass in there. 4 eggs. Alright, and now we need 2 cups of pumpkin. Now some of you may can your pumpkin puree, and that's fine. I just went and got this from Save-A-Lot. You can just get it, you know, whatever. As long as it is, the ingredients are pumpkin. 100%. This one actually has a pumpkin pie recipe on there. I've never bought this before, but there's actually a pumpkin pie recipe on there. If you guys want to take a screenshot of that, you can. Let's see if I can do it like that. Get that glare off of there. Cha-ching. Alright. Alright, 2 cups of pumpkin puree coming right up. And it's probably going to be just about this whole jar here. Okay. There's 1-ish. And if you buy a can and have some extras, make some pumpkin pancakes in the morning. All you gotta do, I don't know if you use complete pancakes or if you have to add oil or whatever. Just play around with it and just make you some pumpkin pancakes or muffins. Let's see, I've got about a cup left in there. Might do that in the morning. Okay. I'll break up my eggs. And then I'll slowly, I will carefully incorporate the wet into the dry. Just stirring in the middle. And then your circles can get a little bigger as you go. Because you can feel the grit on the bottom of the bowl. And so as soon as that grit is gone, make a little bit bigger circle. And then you'll start like hitting a wall on the side. And you just slowly incorporate it. You can also do this in the KitchenAid. But since it's Miss Judy's mama's recipe, I'm stirring it by hand. And if you use a clear bowl, you can look around the outside and make sure you got all the stuff off the bottom. Okay, that is it for the cake part. Alright guys, it is time to pour our cake batter into the cake pan. And I'm going to go ahead and use this aluminum foil because, like I said, it's going to be going with me on our little trip we're doing for the weekend. And I'm going to go ahead and spray this. Now you can butter this if you'd like. A lot of older cooks will butter it and then they'll put flour in it. But there's this lovely little lady named Pam that makes baking spray that is pretty much the same thing other than the whole aerosol thing. So I'm going to coat this pan. Whew. And it literally sprays flour. So make sure we get all the little edges. And before I pour the batter in, let me show you a trick. Don't y'all love my tricks? I'm not an old dog. So, you are cooking with an aluminum foil pan. What's going to happen when you pick this thing up after you got it full of batter? It's going to make a hot mess if you don't hold on to it. So get you a sheet pan, cookie pan, put it on there. So that way you're holding on to the cookie sheet instead of the aluminum foil. Now if you use a lot of aluminum foil pans, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you've never used them before, you'll learn real quick. This looks so good. Okay, In you go. That's good. Okay, also with aluminum pans, and this recipe too, let me show you what it looks like. It's pretty thick. What you can do at this point is you can either smear it out or you can make a lot of racket. And I'm going to smooth it out more to the edges than in the middle, because you know whenever cakes cook, they rise in the middle and then they're skinnier on the outside. So you can kind of push more to the edges if you would like. And I'm going to put a pretty heart right in the middle because I love Miss Judy. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, in the oven it goes. Don't y'all just love all my angles? I left my tripod out at my parents' house the other night, and I don't have it at the moment. So I'm having to use one of my old school ones that don't like go up and down like I like it. So I was just going to tell you that it's going to bake for about 30 minutes or until it's done. So at about the 25-minute mark, we're going to come in here, poke a toothpick in it, or you can do a butter knife or just any kind of slick surface that's pretty small, and dip it in the middle of the cake. And if it comes out clean, it's done. And if it comes out with a little bit of the batter on it, then it's not done. Also during this time, we need to make the icing that goes on here. She has her homemade icing on here. And that's 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1 cup of milk, and you cook those two things together and allow it to cool. And then you're going to add 1 cup of Crisco, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1 cup of sugar, and then you beat it until it's thick. So what I'm hearing is we need to go ahead and do this now because it's got to cool, and then we got to beat the heck out of it. So let's go. Alright guys, so we are going to finish this up. Now this got really thick, and you want it thick because you've got to beat this and make it light and fluffy with your Crisco. And I don't know if any of you have ever made homemade frosting before. Fun fact, I used to make cakes. So if any of you seen my Halloween outfit on Instagram or anything, I made that for the last wedding cake that I made 15 years ago. Alright, we're going to add, now I've already put the one teaspoon of vanilla in here to help kind of cool it off a little bit. And this is the 1 cup of Crisco. And then I've got to go get a 1 cup of sugar. So here we go, 1 cup of sugar. We always made ours with milk and powdered sugar and Crisco. So this is a hair different than ours. I'm thinking this is going to be thick like store-bought. I may be wrong, but we're going to find out together. Because I've never made icing like this. I have never in my life thickened up milk either. That was new. Alright, so let's get the beaters out and get this beaten until thick. and stiff. All right, a few more minutes on the cake, so let's go ahead and beat this up. Cover your ears. I can't resist. That is smooth. And very sweet. Miss Judy. I gotta quit. I'll be gone before the cake gets done. Until the cake gets done, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the refrigerator just so it doesn't continue to melt, because then it won't hold its shape. Like the cream cheese, it'll, kind of start melting. But I want it to hold its shape. So I'm just going to stick it in the refrigerator for a few minutes while the cake cools, because we still have to take it out and it still has to cool. So it's going to be a little bit. So in the fridge this goes. All right, let's get her out now. Now the way you want to check to see if it's done is we'll take a toothpick, stick it in the middle, and pull it out. If it comes out clean, then it's done. If it comes out and has any batter or anything stuck on it, then it's not done. So we'll let this sit here and cool down. Now that took about 40 minutes to get the center of the cake done. So I'm going to let this, I'm actually going to take it outside and let it cool off, because I'm hoping I can get the icing on before we have to leave. Because once I leave, I won't be able to upload the video. So I've got to cool this off real quick to be able to get the icing on it so I can show you guys what it looks like. Alright, the cake is cool. And you can see that it only dipped in just a little bit here. Everything else stayed the same. And it's not really any thicker on the inside or outside. It cooked pretty evenly. Now let's see if we can get this icing out of this bowl. Oh, it's real soft. Awesome. Alright, I'm going to put a little bit here and a little bit here and the rest of it here. And whatever's in the bowl's mine. Alright, we're going to spread it out to the edges. Alright guys, there's your pumpkin cake, Miss Judy. Now, what you can do if you want is you can put some pumpkin spice pre-packed stuff, or you can put cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice cloves. You can make your own mixture. You could sprinkle some on top of this if you want. This will be really good if you stick it in the refrigerator and get it real warm for breakfast. You can also eat it warm. This is still kind of warm, but I had to get the icing on it so we can take it with us. So I hope you enjoy this, and you guys tell Miss Judy thank you down below. Let me know if you do something like this, kind of similar, and save it for the Thanksgiving holidays coming up. So until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Bye.